Hello and welcome to What's New in NX11 Sketching. We're going to take a quick look at some of the new features in the Sketcher in NX11. The very first thing we're going to look at is the new Sketch Relations Browser. With the new Relations Browser, we can quickly interrogate how our sketches were put together and what's tied to what based either on constraints or curves, things we want to pick on the screen, or all of the objects in the sketch. We can see here now the status of what's totally constrained and what still might need some more constraints. After we looked at the Sketch Relations browser, we'll now look at a handy new tool to line things up either vertically or horizontally. In our first example, we'll pick some circles and line them up vertically based on their arc centers. The next one, we'll take the box and using the inferred midpoint of the lines, we'll get that midpoints to line up around the center of the sketch. We'll have one of them be horizontal and one of them vertical. Now as we drag that box around, it stays centered on our sketch origin. The next thing you'll notice, we're going to go ahead now and scale the end of our sketch. So we pick the curves we would like to scale, and then we'll have our scale origin and our scale factor. And as we pull on the vector to move our sketch based on where the origin is, we get different results. Here we get the result based of our origins back there in the sketch a little bit. Now we'll scoot it up more to where our scale factor starts from, and we see we get a different result because it's scaling literally around that point. We'll move it back and get even a different kind of result. And one last one just to kind of see the kind of control we now have to scale curves. The next thing we want to look at is the brand new scale on first dimension. What we're going to do now is we're going to pick the very first dimension in the sketch, these are all inferred dimensions, and give it a value. And when we do that, you will see that the sketch immediately is now scaled to that brand new size. All the dimensions in the sketch have changed. Another thing now with NX11 is the sketches and the numbers and the dimensions all stay relative to where they were. There's no longer moving all the dimensions around the screen to get them back to where you need them. It will now try to put them in the place that's best for what the scale factor was. The next thing you'll notice now too is as we go ahead and move our sketch around, you get the gray trace lines of how things were. The next thing